am going to sing it. Sing it before people start making their way into the live stream. But anyway, I am 3+Kei. I'm just an honest Christian here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. And this space is called the Secret Heart Club. Welcome to the Secret Heart Club. Everyone does their part to bring love, be loved. Hey, we love Jesus at the Secret Heart Club. Hey, Boston and Jackson. I was just saying it's Sunday, which means that there is a song. I've got this ukulele. And somebody asked me yesterday, like, what's with the ukulele? And it's like, that's a little bit how this channel started, was I was just like playing the ukulele. And then as it would turn out, I do write songs. I write songs, and then I've been learning songs on the ukulele, but really I've been learning chords to play to the songs I wrote. And I was just saying before you guys got on here that I'm going to hurry up and sing my song for this week before too many people make their way in. So you guys are it. This song is called All I Ever Wanted. And again, I am not a singer. I write songs, not a singer. I write songs. So don't hold me to any. This is going to sound terrible, but here we go. It's called All I Ever Wanted. All I ever wanted was a different kind of... Let's try it again. All I ever wanted was a different kind of love. So baby, take me in your arms, oh, give me your trust. I promise I will be here each and every day. Honey, lend me your ear, come on and sing with me. Things will be alright, I will keep my faith. I will stay right by your side. I guarantee. Let's sing together live. Rain go away, it'll get better, guy. It'll be okay. All I ever wanted was a different kind of love. So baby, take me in your arms, oh, give me your trust. I promise I will be here each and every day. Honey, lend me your ear, come on and pray with me. Look me in my eyes as you hold my face. Feel the warmth of my side in your embrace. Hey, just one more night. That's all we need. You are my ray of light. I'm your heart beating. All I ever wanted was a different kind of love. So baby, take me in your arms, oh, give me your trust. I promise I will be here each and every day. Honey, lend me your ear, come on and pray with me. Yeah. Move over, Beyonce. So that was the song. That's a song I wrote called All I Ever Wanted, and that's the song of the week on the ukulele. I'll start on another song next week. You know what I mean? I think it feels good in life to not I have a level to me of not caring. Like, I don't have a lot of shame in my life, which allows me to get onto YouTube in the first place, or like sing a song very horribly, but I'm confident in the lyrics that I wrote that will like carry the song. I really appreciate the way that the Lord made me that way. I don't have a lot of shame. I can withstand quite a bit. I'm really pleased about that. But thank you guys for your appreciation of the song. Maybe one day I'll take voice lessons, but probably not. I don't care enough. I don't care enough to sing my songs well. You know what I mean? That's not my pursuit. But anyway, happy Sunday. It's a good day. Hey, Himothy. Who is he? He's Himothy. I'm glad that you're here. So as you guys know, I have like mega sleep issues, and a while ago I decided to not put pressure on myself to go to church on Sundays, because what was happening was I was so worried about going to church on Sundays, like waking up, that I wasn't going to sleep until like 5 a.m. And so at some point in the last few months, I said, what does it look like if I just say like church is off the table, like I'm not going to church. And so I still was sleeping until like 11 or whatever, but the last 2 weeks with no pressure added, I've been able to go not only to church, but to the early service, to the 9 a.m. service. And so I went today, and there's a new sermon series that's going to be on David, King David. And so if you're wondering the importance of David, his name appears in the Bible the most, second only to Jesus. David appears the most. And so, oh, Jackson, I don't tinker. I'm old. I don't tinker with the YouTubes while I'm talking. I don't do anything. Sorry, man. But say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. But yeah, the sermon was on David and how he's not perfect, but he was a man after God's own heart. And so also, when it was time for Samuel to crown the next king or whatever, Jesse, the dad of like all these boys, lined up all of his strapping boys and was like, these are your options for the next king. And Samuel was like, no, 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 no. Are there any other options? And he's like, well, I've got this kid, David, off in the fields, and David was off tending sheep. He's like, David, come over here. And Samuel like anointed him king on the spot. And then right after that, David went right back into the fields, and that was the beginning of like his royalty. But there are other stories. David and Goliath. What was Goliath, like a Philistine? But that was one. And then when he got older, he saw somebody's wife taking a bath and lusted after her, and then basically took the wife from the man, and then she got pregnant. And then to cover it all up, he sent the husband off to war to go get killed so that he could eventually marry the wife. And so David was not he was not a perfect man by any stretch of the imagination, and that could be very similar, right, to the way that we conduct our own lives. Boston says, I gotta go. I might be able to come back to the stream later tonight. I will try my best. Okay. Yeah, and so I really enjoyed hearing more about David today, because I think a hiccup with Christians that can occur is that we think we can get anxiety about the deeds that we're performing, or if you will, like appearing as if we are a perfect Christian, and there's no such thing. And I say it all the time. I was kind of disillusioned by my church experience. I was not really like fitting in to the churches I was going to, primarily because I'm just kind of loud and bold and this kind of thing. And I was going to these churches as a single woman, and I didn't know that there's actually like a thing about single women interacting with like married women in the church. There's like an unspoken thing that like totally doesn't need to exist. But because of my experiences, I am like suspicious of the church experience. Bye, Jackson. I can be suspicious of the church experience until recently, the last like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. I've been going to this one church, and what is in stark contrast to any other church I've been to besides the very first one I went to, is that they lead with vulnerability and transparency. So it's like, these are my flaws, and this is what I've got going on in my life. And, you know, this is God's providence throughout it. This is how God has his hand on the pulse of my situation. And I trust in the Lord to correct it, but just because I trust in the Lord to correct my situation doesn't mean I'm not scared or heartbroken for my children or my mother that's sick or whatever the case might be. It's like very important that we are authentic and we're vulnerable and transparent in church spaces. Because otherwise, we're just walking around pretending with one another. And how are we to bear one another's burdens and lean on one another and develop genuine relationships if we're not behaving in a way that elicits relationship from others, right? Jackson says, how do I check my comments? There's like a notification. I don't know. There's a bar at the top of your channel, and it says like comments, mentions, this kind of thing. So just click on comments. And also you'll get notified when you have comments as well. But yeah, I think it's one thing to move toward Christ and want to be Christ-like, but in that process of you doing that, you want to make sure that you're sharing your sanctification process, right? You don't want to have your testimony at the end. I always use the example of winning $1 million. Like, let's say your business does well and you're now a millionaire. I watch all this business content, and so much of it is like, yeah, just call the customers and then sell them the thing, and then that's how I got $1 million. And it's like, no, there was a lot more to that. It took you 10 years to build this business. So what did it look like while you were doing this? Same thing for your testimony. And I've heard that before. Don't talk about the process of your testimony while you're in it. And if that's what you want to do, I think that's fine. Me, if I'm going through something and I'm expecting the Lord to intervene, amen, then I'm going to talk about it so you can witness this thing that's occurring in my life. if I just tell you at the end, and then I wasn't sick anymore, and then I got the promotion, God gets the glory in that, but the relationships that you could have built in that process, they're not there. Like you wasted it. You robbed people. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't rob people of bearing witness to your faith walk. You know what I mean? And none of us are perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect Christian. And when people, this is me being a social worker, but when people pretend like they've got it all together, it's really masking a deep insecurity that they have. Like, I see it. I'm like, you're not fooling anybody. I used to work at this place. It was like a Christian organization, and one of the women was like, she was trying to control me. Like, I'm a whole adult, right? But she was trying to control me in the workplace. And one day I was talking to her, and in a moment of vulnerability, she was like, yeah, like, I have issues with my husband or whatever. And it's like, no kidding. You're trying to control you would like to control the situation with your husband. And since you're unable to do that, you're bringing it into the workplace, and you're trying to control me where you don't have jurisdiction to do so, all while proclaiming yourself to be like a Christian authority because you're in a leadership position, right? And at the end of the day, like, the Lord knows our hearts, right? Like, he knows what we're going through. He knows what we need. He knows what we're thinking and what we're about to think, you know? So you might as well be transparent about it. And also, give yourself a break. This is for my fellow believers. Give yourself a break. You're not perfect. You weren't built to be perfect. When you gave your life to the Lord, the Holy Spirit went and indwelled in you. Is that a word? Indwelled? Began to dwell within you to start the sanctification process of making you more Christ-like. You're not Christ, so you're not perfect. And you're going to have to learn and bumps and bruises. And just because you turn 18 and you're an adult, that doesn't mean you have anything figured out. Give yourself a break. Get that off of you. Hey, Scott. You know? And I wish more people like felt that way. Even, you know, part of like what I want to do with this channel and in my life is to kind of normalize the new to church experience. I talked about this before. When I first went back into the church, I didn't know my books of the Bible. And so the pastor would be preaching like, turn to 2 Corinthians 4:15, and I would have no clue at all where 2 Corinthians was. But I had a friend that stood next to me and would turn to 2 Corinthians 4:15 and share her Bible with me. And eventually, and then on my own, I was doing my own Bible study, and it created a desire in me to learn where the books are. Plot twist. I still don't know where all the books are. I got the type of Bible that has the little markers on it that tells you where the books are. God knows your heart. You know what I mean? And we make mistakes. Sometimes we make bigger mistakes than others. but you're going to slip up. We're also humans, right? And we have our own desires that may not match up with the Lord's. Obviously, we're human. His ways are not our ways, right? Like gluttony is a thing. I just talked about going to Winco and eating a slice of pizza and then turning right back around and eating McDonald's yesterday. Gluttony. But I smiled at everybody I came across. I was pretty happy about that, you know. I think we need to allow that sanctification process to occur too. You know what I mean? Like, we know the world will call it intuition, but really it's like discernment. We know when we should be doing something or when we shouldn't, but usually it's the desires of our hearts that have us going on to like wayward activities. Scott says, I think people need to behave though. I know. And so that's why that's the flip side to God knows your heart, because God knows when you do want to work against him. Scott says, like, if someone doesn't like someone, they don't need to harass them. So true. So true. God knows our hearts both ways. So sometimes, like, I talk a lot. I know that is shocking. I talk a lot and I don't necessarily think before I talk. I will say 99% of the time, because what's in my heart is like puppies and ice cream. So like when I'm talking, that's what comes out, puppies and ice cream. But every once in a while, I have somebody in front of me and it's like, I hate cats. You know what I mean? And it's like, but God knows my heart. I didn't mean to offend. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I offend people with my words, but it's never my intention to be offensive. Never. I don't, as a practice, I don't believe in it. I think it's, you know what I mean? Like, here's what I think. Sometimes people come on here and they make what they think are offensive comments. And I think, wow, like, out of all the things you could have taken the time to do today, but to get on some strange lady's YouTube and make a comment to attempt to make her feel bad, that is wild. That your heart is dark. That is a wild thing to do, to be intentionally offensive. So that's not it. But also, the Lord knows when you are like sarcastic people. I say it all the time. Sarcasm is not cute. It is not a way you should be interacting with people. Basically, sarcasm is you making a mean comment and trying to mask it as humor. There's nothing funny about sarcasm. It's a weak play to dig at somebody. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about what you could say instead of being sarcasm, it would be sweetness, and you're choosing not to behave in that way. Fun fact, if someone is sarcastic, I'm going to get away from them. Because I'm not going to try to change you. You do you. Blunt people too. If you are blunt or sarcastic, we're not going to be in like close relationship. That's something I do. I don't say, what's the point? Why are you saying these things like this? I don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Proverbs says words should be sweet like a honeycomb. Your words should be winsome so as to move people toward the gospel. There's nothing gospel about sarcasm or being blunt. You got to have self-control. Think about what you say before you say it. You know what I mean? Either way, God knows your heart. God knows if you have a dark heart and you're just being ugly, or if you're you just talk too much like me and you make a weird comment here or there. Scott says sarcasm is heinous. Yeah, it is. It's inappropriate. There's no reason for sarcasm. It's only like highly insecure people that you utilize sarcasm because it's like a mean statement masked as humor. But the only person that laughs is the person making the comment because it's a mean comment. Like, what are we doing? Oh, you know who's not here is Ben. He said he was going to somebody's house. Going to somebody's house. You know what I think I would like to do is to walk alongside new Christian women. And I don't know really like what that looks like, but I know when you first come into the church, it can be hard to make friends, genuine connections. So I don't know what this would look like that I'm wanting to do. But I think somewhere there is a woman or individual women who are new to the church that also want to get out and do like physical activities and learn stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I know that there's women who want this because that's what I want. I want a me to come along, but I don't have a me. Jackson says, I caught a big bass. Oh, on Roblox. This summer, I think I'd like to go fishing and ride a four-wheeler. I mean, what's the point of living in Montana if you're not going to do all the things? I'd also like to go hunting, but not touch the carcass. I don't know if that's a thing, you know. Can you go hunting and not touch the carcass? Like, I want to like peek. I want to be in like the brush. You know what I mean? And then I could shoot it. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't want to like touch it or dress it or anything like that. Anthony! Glad that you're here. Yeah, I'm ready for summer to kind of creep up here. I'm wondering, also in relation to like church activities, they asked me to like host a table at Bible study because I'm engaging and warm. I love that. So I've been doing that, but after Bible study's up, because it's only 7 weeks, I wonder what else is kind of going on. I don't think there's any activities planned. So maybe that would be a good time to launch my Christian friendshipness, you know. Yeah. Do you guys feel that way? Do you feel like you would like to have a friend that is like you? Like, would you like a friend that is like you? Would you like another you to come alongside of you and be your friend? I think that's a good sign, right? I think that's like you like yourself, but Scott says yes. You know, I would like, yes, more Christian women with energy that want to be like out and about. I would love it if there was a woman I could play basketball with. I don't know if I've missed that boat. And I don't want to play with like a 20-year-old. I think that's the thing, right? I want to play with somebody that's like out of their 20s because I don't have 20-year-old energy, but I have quite a bit of energy for my age, more than what I see other women my age having. Everybody wants to like sit down somewhere. I do not want to sit down somewhere. I want to pick up the pace, you know. But yeah, totally. So four-wheeling is definitely on the list for this summer. I would like to do more church activities, more hosting or activities where I'm in like a leadership position. Only because I like to like gather people together under one like little umbrella. So another thing I'm thinking about is more tattoos. You might not know this about me. You don't know this about me. So I would like to have probably like 95% of my body tattooed. And the only reason I have not started this process to that much, like once you see like the neck kind of creep up, the face is next. But I have a 9 to 5 and you can't walk into, maybe I'm a social worker. Maybe if you had a social worker that came in and they had their neck tattooed, would you like, I think I could get away with it because social work is a very liberal field, a little too, this is a safe space. Social work has gone off the deep end a little bit. In my opinion, a little too liberal. I believe in you see that resource right there? Go get that resource. Go get that resource and run it into the ground. That's what I believe in. I don't believe in like, let me give you this, all of it for free. And all the other people, like, I have to work. Antoine says, thank you for sharing. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. It never gets old. When people send a prayer my way or ask God to bless me, it never gets old. I really appreciate that every single time. You know, I'll take what I can get. The more the Lord hears my name. Because I be out here, man. Just like, I mean the best. I mean the best. But you know me. I'm the honest Christian. I come on here all the time talking about how I'm not perfect. How I did this, that, and the actual other twice in a row. You know what I mean? So I could use all the prayer. People are watching me. I have kids watching me. I want to make the right decision, but sometimes my flesh gets the best of me. You know. Oh, speaking of, you know what? In the physical health realm, you know what I started today? Creatine. I bought a year's worth of creatine because I heard that it improves muscle mass. And so kind of, you guys know, if you're here all the time, you know, I call it soft around the corners. I'm soft around the corners since 2021. Your girl has put on 30 pounds. Okay. I used to do CrossFit and now I don't. And so anyway, recently I got back into the gym and I go like 5 days a week. And then I just recently increased it to like every day, basically strength training 6 days a week. And I had heard about creatine, but you know me, I had to Google it and do my own research. And it's legit. There's no like negative side effects. There's no long-term negative side effects. It helps with energy, cognitive incline, muscle mass, this type of thing. So I'm very interested at this point in my fitness journey of gaining muscle for the point of strength. What I plan on doing with that strength, I'll let you know later. I don't know, but I am naturally strong. Like my brothers are, like one brother's a Marine, my brothers are like big. My brothers are big. And so as a woman, I don't want to be like a bodybuilder or anything like that. But my point is I'm naturally strong. And so I'm strength training to be even stronger. I want to be very strong. Simultaneously, I do cardio 7 days a week so that my frame is thinning down. I don't want to, and no shade to women who are like visibly muscular. My preferred body type for me is like fit thick. Do you know what I'm saying? Like no abs, but a flat stomach. You know, kind of hourglassy, kind of like a soft feminine. I'm a woman. Women are no, I don't. I was gonna say women aren't supposed to be muscular. A woman can be whoever she wants to be, as long as she's a woman of God, right? Let a woman look how she wants to look, but moving toward the Lord, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, anyway, I started creatine today. I'll let you know how that goes. Like I said, I got a year's worth of it, so I'm in, I suppose. But yeah. And to sum it all up, guys, there's no need to pretend to be perfect, because the Lord knows your heart. Good, bad, and ugly. The Lord already knows who you are. So kind of like me not going to church because the sleep was a little hectic. I have a heart for God, and I was trying my best. And now I'm going back to church, right? But don't put so much pressure on yourself to be a perfect Christian. It's really not a good look. Do you know what I mean? Let other people see your flaws. Be vulnerable with other people. Let people see your journey on your faith walk, because they'll be encouraged by it. They'll be encouraged by your growth and the sanctification process. If you just show up, you pop out, you pull up, pop out, and the thing is done, people are just like, okay, I see that's what God did. And that's it. They don't see what he brought you through, baby. They don't see what he brought you through. So there's no encouragement. You feel me? All right, I got to get out of here. I'm going to pray us out real quick. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day, introducing me to creatine. Lord, you know what's on the hearts of everyone here, and you know what their struggles are. I just ask that you bring them comfort and good sleep tonight, good Lord. And then in the morning and tomorrow, as we go throughout our days, if you could just bless us with somebody in our paths to serve and to love, and show them who you are through our actions and deeds. Lord, I thank you for sanctification. I thank you for our testimonies. I thank you for being with us every day, all day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow, 8:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Talk to you later.